Greetings and welcome back to my gaming library. Top 10 RTSs for RTS number 2. Well, the reason why I included a rule that unless the gameplay is so different that it can actually not be considered in the same franchise was so I could get generals in, because Generals is unlike any other Command and Conquer game out there. It plays far more like StarCraft than it does any of the Command and Conquer games actually. It has 3 quite different factions. It has a campaign structured similarly, with one leading to the other rather than them being capable of running in parallels. It is also, in my opinion, the best Command and Conquer game, if you included it as a Command and Conquer game. It's also where the series hit its peak. After this it just went downhill. Command and Conquer 3 Tiberian Wars isn't that bad, but Red Alert 3 and Command and Conquer 4, oof, those are not good. Now, why do I like this game? It's actually a little funny. One of the things that I have noticed, I generally don't like this close to modern military games setting at all, except the Command and Conquer games. And even this is the one that gets closest to it. I like, well, the campaign is fun, the gameplay in of it itself is fun. The entire thing about this game is more or less fun. It's probably one of those I've played the most. One of the few RTSs I've played through on the highest difficulty setting without any problems. This and then the one that comes next, number 1, which beats it. However, I'm first gonna talk about it next time. Now let's have a short look at this. This is the expansion which adds the challenge, which is basically you choosing one of the new generals they've added, which is sub-factions to each faction, 3 sub-factions, and has different special abilities and units, buildings in comparison to the factions they are in. However, they still more or less preserve the same style of play. So, for example, GLA generals will be all about stealth and hitting with suicide bombers and all that sort of things, like quick strikes and out. And the US faction will be more about power and air superiority. That's a nice mode. You can spend quite a lot of time in there. You just go in.
Choose your general.
So you see here, you get to choose the different generals, quickly go through them. Laser here, here's mainly laser weapons. Generals, more or less says itself. Here's a new tank type that takes power, so he can be quite annoying as playing, as if people start targeting your power plants, you will actually lose your combat force on top of your base defense and so on. Air power, it's just more air power. Just like normal US has a lot of air power, and this just increases it even more. And super weapons, which have some quite interesting base defenses that can one-shot planes and shut down tanks and so on. And of course, cheaper super weapons, better super weapons. Ambush and camouflage. Well, generally all his buildings are hidden and all his units are hidden, so you need to really, when you fight him, it can be quite annoying, because if you don't scour the entire map, he can have something hidden somewhere you can't find. Dr. Frags, toxic weapons. Well, it's also more or less gives the the information right there. He used a lot of toxins, really strong against infantry, not so good against tanks, but still it can really turn a area toxin so it will damage units passing through and things like that. Explosives. He actually doesn't appear as an opponent in this. I think him and I think it's infantry. Those two generals don't appear as an opponent. However, there's a mod that changes up a lot of the generals, giving them new units and things like that. I think it's called Shockwave, and in that he then have a map. But yeah, he specializes in explosives. Even his basic units can explode when they die instead, so you can actually use any units as a suicide bomber if you want. Well, nuclear weapons. Lots and lots of cheap nukes. Really a super weapon general as well as you can, when you're playing skirmish, select to only have one super weapons, which is often a good idea because the game can really just slow down to a, well, one side now has super weapons and he can keep the other side down so he don't have super weapons, and just build up super weapons while turtling. So it isn't the best if there's multiple, but if there aren't multiple, this guy is a bit crippled. Tanks, well, he have lots of tanks, and infantry, he has lots of infantry. Most of them is quite self-explanatory. And let's go into a skirmish here. I see the last I played against hard opponent. Since I will be talking, I will just set this up against some easy opponents. Now I set it up, and since you can set them on easy, that's basically just a joke. Just put them like this. You can choose where you start. You can see different things. These stars are special buildings that give special benefits. Some are oil directs that give resources, some make your units cheaper, things like that. See down here there's metals. Since I haven't played on this machine actually, I have none of them. As you can see, it's clean installation more or less here. But you'll get medals here for completing the campaign and doing other tasks. General challenge, build air forces, tanks, things like that, speed, nuclear weapons, all kinds of things like that. And I also think they will show in multiplayer, but I haven't really played online multiplayer. I've only played LAN, so I don't know actually.
Yeah.
And it's very standard. As I said, it's more like a traditional RTS in which you have build units rather than the build panel over here. So you have to basically ask your units to builder units to build buildings. Like here, you got dozers for China and US, and GLA has workers. There's some different things here. Let's get this one going.
Bring on the scaffolding.
I'm just gonna quickly capture the building of the opponents so I can build their units, show those as well. GLA don't have to manage power, but US and China have. Also you have the general powers. These are unique for each faction or each general, although the general use things for their factions.
Upgrade complete.
What's the mission, sir?
Bit loud.
What's the
Get
mission, sir?
paladin tanks, for example, here, which are general unit.
Clocked in. Good area.
And since it's against an easy opponent, they will not really do anything
What's the mission, sir?
to really text me.
What's the mission, sir?
And let's just go
Ready for
up here and capture this one up here. Should be
Army's elite, sir.
China, I think.
Search and destroy. Protecting our people.
Show those buildings off.
Wanna make
I have a
some
few
improvements?
things
Laying the foundation.
differently. This building especially is a special building that's service giving special upgrades. Most of the faction have 2 units here. They have a standard infantry and a rocket launcher, a special unit. The GLA has far more infantry
Upgrade complete.
than this, and a special unit.
Is there
But
a
I can
threat?
show them off as soon as I've captured here.
Taking her Always prepared. Search and destroy. Polished and ready.
Unit lost.
Quickly just check it here.
Ready for action. Let's take the building.
And you can then capture any building
More projects.
you want. So you now have the ability to scan the entire map here.
Doing what's right. Yes, Army's elite. We have their building.
And just build one of these.
Ready for action. Fully engaged. Enemy identified.
Now you go down here
For China.
and build a new one down here.
China will grow larger. Always prepared.
Now let's draw back.
Need a point, man. Take a new position.
I'm not intending to defeat them. That will end the map.
Is there a Paladin tank in the
Defeat
field?
both my
Unit
opponent.
lost.
You can still squeeze infantry
Doing what's right.
with tanks.
Always prepared. Meet your new owner.
And units will get
Special forces
wounded
here.
and then start limping and things like that. The lower health they have.
Protecting
You
our
can
people. Always
recuperate
prepared.
their health by putting them into the building they come from.
Clocked in. Good area.
Now, let's see if I can
Construction is complete.
get some things here.
Big plan. You want the best? Here I am. Building
And
a
there I got
Chinese
Burden.
empire. Paladin tank in the field.
Tanks here from the
Doing what's right.
US can get a few special buildings on top of them.
We fight for peace. Polished and ready.
Now,
Special forces here.
just
Unit lost.
gonna quickly capture these and then build up a few buildings and then talk about those.
Building
So,
captured. General, our
until
base
then.
is under attack.
Okay, now I have most of the buildings here going.
Unit lost.
Just quickly look into different things. I'll build a little
Particle cannon ready.
base up here. With resources,
Unit lost.
Here. Great progress.
which is getting overrun. See, the US, when they lose a vehicle with experience, they get a pilot with the experience.
Unit
then-
lost.
What's right.
Congratulations, General. You have been promoted.
Go into another vehicle. This is a speaker tower. It's a Chinese building that heal nearby units. Here's the different resources and collect resources differently. As you can see, the US
Keep it safe.
got helicopters. The China use vehicles, and the GLA use their workers.
China has
And in general, they play very different to different factions. They have different super weapons. They have different buildings. They have different type of units. All kind of different things. Although all of them have a vehicle building facility and an infantry building facility. Here, the China special unit, a hacker. And I like all these different variations. You really get to play a lot of different things with the different factions. They collect resources differently. They have different items. They also have a
laying the foundation.
secondary way of building,
In the US of A.
collecting resources. Secondarily, they have 2 ways.
On the job.
They have the
Unit
primary
lost.
to select from
attack.
these places, and they have secondary
Projects.
that just give them runningly. China have hackers which you can build into a hacker center, things like that. All the different factions play out quite differently.
More projects.
Let's just get some reinforcements here. And even infantry, as you can see here, is actually quite effective. It's one of the games where infantry actually remain useful.
Unit lost. Particle cannon activated.
Right here.
Of course, I have Burden here, who will probably have taken all of those out alone.
Keep it clean.
But in general, it is a pretty fun game, and it's my second choice for best RTS. what will be the best? Well, join me next time. And I will also give a quick rundown over a few other games I have that haven't made the cut. As you can see, why they wasn't on the list. And a quick short overview over the entire top 10. But that will be next time. Until then, farewell.